There's a river that runs through the middle of the land, and it has been running for so long that it has learned to sing.
Its song is not loud. It is the song of water moving over stones, of small waves meeting small shores, of rain remembered. The river begins in the high mountains, in a small, clear pool where the snow melts in spring and the water is cold and bright. An old man lives at the place where the river leaves the mountains, in a cottage by a wooden bridge, and he has lived there his whole life.
His name is Elias, and he was born in this cottage, and his father before him, and his grandfather before him. They have always been river people, the family of Elias, people who measure their days by the water.
When he was a boy, the river was his playground and his teacher, and he learned its every mood, its every turn.
He learned which stones hid the trout, and which pools ran deep, and which shallows sang the sweetest in the spring. He learned to read the river the way other people read books, and the river, in return, taught him patience.
The river has no hurry, his father used to say, and a man who lives by the river learns to have no hurry either.
His father was a ferryman, and he carried people across the river in a flat boat, from dawn until dusk for 50 years.
The bridge was built when Elias was a young man, and the ferry was retired, and his father sat on the bank and watched the bridge with mixed feelings. But the river kept its song, and the ferryman kept his memories, and Elias learned to tend the bridge instead.
He checks the bridge every morning, walking its length, testing the planks, watching the water run beneath.
The bridge is old now, like him, but it is sound, and it has carried 100 years of footsteps, of horses, of carts, of children.
He thinks about all the feet that have crossed this bridge, and the lives that have crossed it, and the river that has carried them all.
The river runs on, and the song continues, and the stones in the waterbed are round and smooth from 1,000 years of turning.
Every morning before the sun is fully up, he sits on the bridge with his tea, and he watches the river begin its day.
The mist rises off the water, and the river is silver and secret, and the first birds begin, and the world is new.
He pours his tea from the thermos, and the steam rises, and he wraps his hands around the cup and he listens.
The river is singing its morning song, the song of water waking, of stones turning, of the long journey begun.
He knows the song by heart, every phrase of it, every variation, every season's version of it.
In spring, the river sings high and fast, swollen with snowmelt, and its song is urgent and bright and full of running.
In summer, the river sings low and lazy, and its song is the song of deep pools and warm shallows and long, slow afternoons. In autumn, the river sings rich and golden, carrying the leaves down from the mountains, and its song is full of color. In winter, the river sings slow and dark, and its song is the song of ice and patience and the quiet work of the deep.
He knows the river and all its voices, and he loves them all, and he would not trade any of them for a calm river.
The Terrans know him, and they stand in the shallows like patient gray statues, and they do not fly when he passes.
He has watched 3 generations of herons learn to fish in this river, and he thinks of them as neighbors.
The daughters know him too, and sometimes he sees them at dusk, sliding down the bank, their bodies long and dark and joyful. fish know him, the trout in the deep pools, and he has caught them and released them, and they have grown old and wise together. The river is full of life, full of small, busy, quiet lives, and he knows many of them by name.
He thinks about the source of the river, the small, clear pool in the mountains, which he visited once when he was young. He had climbed for 3 days to reach it, and he had knelt beside it, and he had seen his own face in the cold, bright water. He had understood then that a river is a journey, and that he was part of that journey, as his father had been, as his children would be.
He has no children now, but he has the river, and the river has him. And that has been enough.
The river runs through the middle of the land, and it has been running for so long that it has learned to sing.
He thinks about the river's whole journey, from the mountain pool to the sea, a journey longer than any man's life.
He has traced it on maps, following the blue line with his finger, past the meadows, past the towns, past the farms with their warm light. He has never followed it in person, because the river is his home, and a man does not leave his home to see his home.
But he knows from the maps that the river widens as it goes, and slows and grows calm, until it becomes the sea.
He thinks about that, and it comforts him, the way the river comforts everyone who lives by it.
The river is a lesson in going on, in keeping going, in finding your way around the stones and through the narrows. The river never stops, and it never hurries, and it never arrives, because the journey is the point.
He sits on the bridge, and the sun climbs, and the mist burns off, and the river shines, and his tea is warm.
He mends his nets in the afternoon, sitting on the bank with his legs hanging over the slow water.
The nets are old, and the knots are patient, and the river hums its low, steady song while he works.
He remembers his father mending nets on this same bank 60 years ago, humming the same tune. He remembers his grandfather too, though only faintly, a white-haired man who said very little and knew everything.
They are all in the river now, he thinks. All the river people, their songs join to the song of the water. When evening comes, the river turns gold, and then rose, and then a deep, quiet blue, and the song deepens with the dark.
He lights his lamp, and the cottage window glows, and he can see the river through the window, silver now, and endless. He eats his supper by the window, bread and cheese and a glass of water from the river, and the river sings while he eats.
The bread is from the village, the cheese is from the hill farm, and the water is the river itself, cold and sweet and alive.
He thinks about the village, which lies a mile downstream, and where the river is the center of everything. He thinks about the miller who runs the watermill by the bridge, a broad man named Stefan who has the river in his blood. The mill has turned for 200 years, and the millstone is worn smooth, and the flour it makes is the flour of the valley. Stefan says that the river is a miller's best friend and worst enemy, and that you must never turn your back on it. In the spring, when the river runs high, Stefan opens the sluices and lets the water roar, and the mill races like a young horse. In the summer, when the river runs low, the mill turns slowly, and Stefan sits on the bank with Elias, and they watch the water together. The
The children swim in the river in summer, and their voices carry over the water, and the river carries them like a gentle hand.
Elias remembers swimming in this river when he was a boy, and the water was the same water, and the summers were the same summers. He remembers the summer he taught his own nephew to swim, holding him in the shallows while the river laughed around them.
The river has taught 100 children to swim, he thinks, and it has never once kept one.
It is a kind river, mostly, but it has its moods, and the old people of the village remember the great flood. That was 60 years ago when the snow melted early and the rain came for 9 days, and the river rose over its banks.
The water reached the mill, and the bridge, and the lower fields, and the village turned out to watch and to pray.
Elias was a young man then, and he had stood on the bank with his father, and they had watched the river become something else. It was terrible. His father had said, and wonderful. And it is both, and you must never forget it.
When the water fell, the fields were full of silt and fish, and the village repaired and rebuilt, and the river went back to its song.
Elias has seen the river dry in the drought years too, when the shallows baked and the pools shrank and the trout hid deep. He had carried water to the gardens with his father, and the river had been a thin, tired thread, barely a song at all.
But the rain had come, and the river had filled, and the song had returned, and the land had breathed again. The river is not always gentle, and it is not always loud, but it is always there. And that is what matters. He thinks about the ferryman years and the stories his father told him about the people he carried.
There was the bride who crossed the river in white, on her way to her wedding, and the ferry had been hung with flowers. There was the doctor who crossed in the night, in the rain, to save a child, and his father had rowed like a man possessed. There was the old woman who crossed every Sunday for 50 years to visit her sister, and who had never once missed a Sunday. His father had carried them all, and he had known them all, and he had said that the river was the road of the village. Elias carries a little of that in himself, the way a son carries his father's trade, even when the trade has gone. He checks the bridge every morning still, and he keeps the planks sound, and he thinks of his father with every step.
The moon rises over the water, and the river carries a long ribbon of moonlight, smooth as silk, slow as a dream.
He walks down to the bank and sits on the old stone, and he puts his hand in the water, and the water is cool and alive.
The river runs over his fingers, soft as breath, and he feels the long patience of the water, older than any living thing. He thinks about the sea, far away, where the river ends, and he thinks about how the sea is made of rivers.
Every river that has ever run, every stream, every spring, every raindrop has found its way to the sea. And the sea holds them all. And the sea is patient. And the sea is the mother of all the rivers.
He thinks that a man is like a river, and that he has been running all his life, and that one day he will reach the sea.
And that is not a sad thought, he finds, because the sea is full of rivers, and the rivers are full of songs. He lies back on the bank, and the grass is soft, and the sky is full of stars, and the river sings its endless song.
The song has a rhythm, in and out, over the stones and around the bends, and the whole night breathes with it.
He closes his eyes, and the river carries his thoughts away, one by one downstream, until there are none left. In his dream, he is made of water, and he runs down through the meadows, over the stones, past the farms with their warm lights.
He runs past the village, and the mill turns as he passes, and the children wave, and he waves back with a wave of his own. He runs past the town, and the bridges arch over him, and the boats bob, and the people lean on the rails and watch him go. And at last, he comes to the sea, and the sea opens its arms, and he is home, and the song becomes the sea's song. He wakes a little, and the river is still singing, and the moon has moved, and the stars have turned a little on their wheel. He walks back to the cottage, and the lamp is waiting, and the bed is soft, and the window is open to the river's song. He lies down, and the song comes in through the window, over the sill, into the dark room, and wraps around him like water. He sleeps, and the river keeps its watch, and the herons stand in the shallows, and the moon moves over the water. And all night the river runs, patient and endless, singing its one soft song, and the old man sleeps, and the land sleeps. And the river remembers every stone and every shore, every fisherman and every child, every song it has ever sung. And in the morning, before the light, the river will still be there, running, singing, carrying the world gently on its way.